I'm Afton Deal, and this is Module 16 that we do with our group. So I'm supposed to answer the essential question of, as an advanced professional, how would you apply data and data analysis to ensure your continuous improvement plan is focused on closing the gaps? So I'm going to talk about a little bit about our experience at my school that we've already had, and that it's taught me about closing the gap and through its experience. So my previous principal had our school assessing our students with a variety of assessments, but never really looked at the data in ways to improve instruction. And the teachers felt like we were just assessing because that's what we were told to do, but not really understanding why we were assessing. But my current principal is very knowledgeable about assessments and analyzing the data. She's made wonderful improvement on our MTSS program with both reading, and we're just starting the math process as well. So we use K-5 MAPS testing, and we use our data that's collected from that to identify our curriculum gaps. So that's what we've really been using to focus on the curriculum gap. So our reading MTSS, we've analyzed the data using the Quick Phonics Screener and the Phonemic Awareness. And then we, every 3 weeks, the data is analyzed by the MTSS team. And then by doing this, we use our Title I program, and they use the same steps for the MTSS as well. And then the team provides curriculum focused on the phonemic awareness to address these specific concerns. And then our data collected is like bi-weekly, and then our students move into different tiers accordingly. So like the Tier 2 and Tier 3 students are evaluated every week by the reading teacher and the Title I team. And then our classroom teachers are constantly monitoring these student progress and data to guide their instruction decisions in the classroom. So they are staying up to date on that the data that's shared between the title teachers and the MTSS team as well. So I feel like with the incorporation of the MAPS testing, the universal screener, that the teachers have more target approach to the student specific needs. So they know which students are really low in which area and which students are advanced in areas, so they know what to focus their instruction on. The data is driving our title team and our MTSS, and also that classroom instruction. Using the same data, it helps drive the decision making and leadership to allow our teachers and staff to understand a system approach where we're all working together on the same things, and we understand like if the students in which tier and how they move through them. And then that also helps because we have 4 elementaries in our school. And so each kid in each elementary school will be measured using the exact same criteria. So even if they move to a different school, they're still being measured at the same criteria and know where they're at. This also allows the teachers to tailor their strategies based on the specific needs. We will continue to gather the data professionally and use it for professional development, so that can be tailored to help the teachers create and find those strategies to support the students and the gaps in their learning. So describe the desired outcome. I would have to say that I would love for the detailed process that we have right now for the reading MTSS to be the same as math. We just started working on that, the math section, and we have it started, but we have a long ways to go to implement it the same way as like the reading section was. Our success of the MTSS strategies for both reading and math would be based on the data that will be able to identify the students that need the additional support and be able to transition in and out of that support group. And then based on the math and reading data, we're able to offer the professional development that focuses on that specific area. So say it's comprehension or vocab or specific areas, then I know what the teachers need help focusing on and giving them extra strategies for those. And I'll provide opportunities for the teachers to collaborate among the buildings and to create and utilize peer knowledge and strategies. So a little bit about like the articles. One of the articles stated that the principal is closing the gap by turning data into action, and I definitely feel like my principal right now is using the data in action and helping us improve our instruction in the classroom. And then I feel like the technology has definitely improved our way to close the gap with all the data tracking and everything through technology. And then the last thing about the article, one of the quotes was like, kids own a piece of their responsibility in learning, and teachers own a piece as well. And I thought that was really good, that not just teachers hold their responsibility, but kids do as well, and it's an equal partnership. So that's all I have. I'll wait for you guys to ask some questions.
Okay, thank you. I'll have just two quick ones. And just get them both out there so that way you could respond. First, you talked about assessing for assessing's sake. Do you think that the culture now for the school is more uniform and sort of everyone's on the same page? Do you think that that's sort of the reason why you feel differently? And then my second question was quick. It's just, is the MTSS data sort of stuff that you're doing, is that all on contract time, or do you have to do that on your own?
Okay. So the first question about how the school climate is, I definitely think our principal is more knowledgeable, and that helps us feel more comfortable about the data. So even our previous principal gave us the data, but we didn't understand how to interpret it or what it meant or anything, where this principal was breaking it down classroom by classroom, grade level, students, highlighting it. So she's very knowledgeable. That helps us feel more confident in it. And then your second question about MTSS, we have an MTSS team that kind of goes through the analyzes the data first and then breaks it apart for us, like, so it's not so overwhelming as you've talked about before. And so it breaks it down for the teachers to really understand where their students are at, and they can go to the MTSS team that the principal works directly with. So then she doesn't have to go to as many classroom teachers to like analyze it with them. So the MTSS team helps break it down for the teachers on regular time, but MTSS group meets with substitutes covering their classes. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so I also have two questions. One of they go hand in hand. One of them is, how long did it take to set up that particular reading assessment that you mentioned that the 4 elementary schools worked together? Was that right when you came in, or were you part of the process that set that up?
So yeah, with our new principal, she's kind of been the leader of it all, and she's the one that worked with the other elementaries to get them all on board. But it did take from August till about Christmas time to get it figured out, of everybody on the same page. So it was a time process, and it took a lot of time out of instruction to get everybody on the same page. But it's been well worth it now that it's developed.
Okay. And what are some obstacles you see in trying to implement a similar assessment for math between these elementary schools, since they've already gone through the process for reading?
I think it's going to be a lot more time consuming, just because that the reading is already implemented and it takes a while to go analyze the data. I think if you get 2 subjects, it's going to take even longer for our MTSS team to really sit down and analyze it, and then come up with different strategies and instruction for those. I feel like it's a good idea, but at first it's going to take a lot more time, just like it took for the reading program to get implemented.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
What do I find? Is it that one I'm on? What do I find that's most helpful? I don't know. Is that what I'm on?
No. Tell the partner what kind of help.
What help you need.
Oh, what kind of help I need?
You'd like.
Probably collaboration with the teachers and the time. There's not enough time in the day to talk to all my teachers and get collaboration through them, and providing them time to collaborate. Definitely fitting that in the schedule is collaboration, and making sure the teachers understand the data, like new teachers that are coming in, when am I going to find the time to meet with them and break down the reading assessment, the math assessment, and then the data from those assessments.
Okay, so paraphrasing what you're saying, you feel like the teachers need more time for the collaborative portion of the data assessment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you're worried about if new teachers come in, how they can also jump in and participate in the collaboration with the data as well.
Yes.
Correct?
So I'd hope that MTSS team could help them feel more comfortable on it, instead of taking my time to go through each new teacher. So that's why the MTSS team is I dictate some of the jobs to them as well.
Okay. For looking at what we can offer as far as help, one thing that struck me from the articles that we read for this unit was the journal article, which talked about that one thing that teachers want for data assessment and that was being pushed for administration was finding a way to have common planning periods for teachers. And that was one of the things that they said was oftentimes really helpful. And that's just the first thing I thought of when you were asking for that collaboration time. So that might be something to think about finding a way to integrate, if not for all teachers, at least inside of similar classes.
Okay.
Yes, that common planning period. Yeah, I think that's also a very good idea. I'm not sure in elementary school, but maybe if they put it in certain groups, certain wings of the school, maybe like a library period or something. But as far as getting new teachers up to date and up to speed with the processes and the data, I would suggest that, of course, most of the time is just having a schedule, kind of similar to what we did beforehand when the new teachers arrive. Kind of have guided periods of being able to give like suggestions on how to read the data, how some teachers that have been there a while are already reading data, the strategies they use as a kind of mentorship for the new teachers that come in.
Yeah, very good. So I think the most helpful things you guys have shared was like finding collaboration time and PLC time, just making that time for teachers to really collaborate and talk to one another so they're on the same page with the data. Is that it?
Yes.
That's all I got.
All right. Sounds good. I will end my video.